Hey guys, welcome to Darts Class. We're going to go through another list today. We're going to go through these. I'm going to list for you the best darts documentaries that are out there to watch. So I'm going to start off with number 10, a controversial one, as this wouldn't have been anywhere near the bottom. It's one of the most entertaining ones out there, but because of the issues in his personal life, and I don't really want to sound like I'm in support of the sort of thing that he was doing, is Justin Lee Collins' 180. Actually, to be fair, it's a really entertaining documentary for amateur darts players who want to see how far they can get. It's a really good insight from going through from absolute beginner to competing regularly and competitively in high profile tournaments. So if you haven't watched it, it is entertaining. You can check it out, but yeah, I don't want to be endorsing JLC. Number 9, I'm going to go for this one, which is Sid Waddell, The Voice of Darts. It's not the most conclusive one in the world. I think it was made shortly after Sid had passed away. And it's just a background to Sid, his life, his journey into darts, and how he became the voice of darts, the greatest commentator that this game has ever seen. So it's certainly well worth checking out. At number 8, I'm going to go for this one, which is Jockey Wilson Said, a really recent one that was put out on the BBC and made in BBC Scotland. It is a biographical look at the life of Jockey Wilson, what he went through. It's shot a bit strangely. It's as if Jockey's actually doing the narration on his own life, and obviously Jockey's no longer with us, so I did find that a little bit strange, but it was a really good look at the life of one of the most eccentric darts players that there has ever been. So yeah, check it out, I'm sure you'll enjoy it. At number 7, I'm going to go for Michael van Gerwen, The Best Player in the World. It's a quite recent one, but it was made for Dutch TV, so for English-speaking players and darts fans out there, there is a lot of Dutch in it. There's a lot subtitled. The majority of it is in English, so go and check it out. It's a really good behind-the-scenes look at Michael's life and his journey in darts to being the greatest player in the world. So certainly worth checking out. It's just a short documentary made for Dutch TV, but I'm sure if you've got an interest in darts, then why not have a look at the life of the greatest player currently on the planet. Okay, number 6, I'm going to go for this one. Phil Taylor, The Power and the Glory. I enjoyed it, but it's quite bizarre. It's quite Alan Partridge-esque. Phil, whether you love him or hate him, is quite unique. It almost turns into parody at times, the amount of times he name drops and mentions that he's best mates with Robbie Williams. But to be honest, he's the greatest player that's ever lived. You can't take that away from him. Anyone who's interested in darts at all will surely be fascinated to see what his life is like behind the scenes. It was shot several years ago, long before his retirement, so it is a little bit dated. But go ahead, give that a watch. It's certainly worth your time watching. And at one point he tries to hit a 180 blind as well. So there's some nice little entertaining bits in there too. So number 5, I'm going to go for The Power of Darts. It is a really entertaining look at the world of darts. It gives you a short history about what darts has become now. It's one of the more recent ones that's out there to watch. It's one of those TV shows, I'm sure you've seen lots like them, like The Craziest Moments in Football, all of those types of TV shows that are out there. They've got some comedians on to give some really stereotypical jokes about darts, but in general it's really insightful again, and it just talks about how darts has gone from a pub game to an international sport with millions of pounds on the lines. It's certainly one of the more entertaining ones, so check it out, and I'm sure you'll have fun watching it. So number 4, I'm going to go for The Blood on the Carpet, the Split in Darts documentary. If you're watching it now and you've not seen it before, it is dated. It goes through the split in darts, as the title suggests. A lot of it covers Ollie Croft and the split from the BDO to become what is now the PDC. But it's actually really nicely shot. and it adds a lot of drama to what was quite a sensational time in our sport. So yeah, go and have a look. So at number 3, I'm going to go for this one, the Darts Mavericks. It's actually really entertaining. If you don't know much about the history of darts, and then it goes through a couple of the real characters that have been in the game. It goes through Alan Evans, Jockey Wilson, Eric Bristow, Sid Waddell, Bobby George. Really good examples of how they made darts so entertaining in the 80s and created the platform for the huge business that darts has become today. I really enjoyed this one. It's probably my favourite. I don't know if it's the best, but it's one that I've watched over and over again. So yeah, go and take a look. At number 2, I'm going to put this one, the most recent documentary out there, House of Flying Arrows. If you're into darts now and how darts has evolved to be the modern monster that it is, then this is probably going to be the one for you. It covers essentially Michael Van Gerwen's journey to try and become the world champion a couple of years ago, his rivalry with Gary Anderson, and everything that it takes to become a modern dart player now. All the razzmatazz, the glamour that is in the game. It's really well shot, a professionally done production. So if you can find it, then I certainly would advise you sitting down, watching that. You get a really good hour's entertainment. And in first place is this documentary, Bullseyes and Beer, When Darts Hit Britain. Really professionally done. It's a little bit dated now, but it really goes through in a lot of detail pretty much everything all of the other 9 do. You've got in-depth interviews with the greatest players that there have ever been. It's really good analysis from cultural figures of the time, and it is a great example of everything that's brilliant in this game. So go and watch it. Go and watch any of these. If you just want to broaden your knowledge of the game at all of these are really helpful to just give yourself a bit of context about the world of darts. So thank you guys, that was my list of the top 10 darting documentaries. If you haven't seen any of them, all the links are in the description, and then if you go to the lists on my playlist here, you'll be able to see other lists that I've done. So far I've done the top 10 match-winning checkouts of all time. I'm in the process of currently doing the recreations of each of those as well. So if you haven't already, make sure you give me a like, a subscribe, put in the comments if your favourite darting documentary wasn't featured, and I will see you next time at the darts class. Thank you for watching this video on CV Darts. Remember to like, subscribe and leave a comment. You can also follow us at CV Darts on Twitter.